don't tell anyone. I'm a Swede impersonating a Norwegian. Hej, jag är Elsa. That means hi, I'm Elsa in Norwegian. Hi everyone, and welcome to another Getting Dressed video. Today I am going to become Elsa, but not just any Elsa, historically accurate 1840s Elsa. Because what's more fun than becoming Elsa is becoming a real-life Elsa that really could have lived in that time period in Norway. That's right, friends. I made a bunad, and I'm gonna put it on right now. Oh, but what's a bunad? Bunad is the name for Norwegian folk dress that is still seen today for special occasions. Scandinavia is known for its very beautiful folk dresses, and it's so fun to dress up in them. These folk costumes date back to the 1800s, when they were more like normal clothing. In fact, we see this type of folk dress all over the place. Some of you might know a very similar style called a dirndl from Germany, which is popular in America too for things like Oktoberfest. The bunad is basically the Norwegian version of that. I created this costume by looking at source material from the period. I used a lot of resources on the Norwegian National Museum's website. I looked at photographs, I looked at sketches and drawings, as well as actual extant garments that you can see online. If you want to see more about the entire process of researching and making this costume, please see my previous video, which I'll link up here. Also, I'll link it in the description. As I go through dressing in the layers, I will attempt to use the proper Norwegian terms. Please have mercy on my pronunciation because I have a very heavy American accent. I am already wearing my first layer, which is a shirt or skjorta. The shirt can be made of white cotton or linen, and I've patterned my skjorta after the ones that I found in the period resources. The shirt is decorated with embroidered trim as well as metal brooches. Embroidery and trims were very common on shirts in the period, and you'll still see them on modern folk bunad today. Brooches and various types of jewelry are also common. A petticoat, under kjola, gives volume to the skirt. Now, if you watched my making of video, you may notice that the petticoat isn't in that video, and that's because I already had it. And actually, I didn't even make this one. I found it at a thrift store. Next up will be the bunad dress portion. There is a skirt and a vest or bodice that comprises the bunad. These are typically constructed as separate pieces, and then they can be sewn together or pinned together or what have you at the waistband. So here is the bodice somewhat attached to the skirt. And I chose to do mine in a dark blue because I was able to find examples of dark blue bunad. And since Elsa is usually depicted wearing blue tones, I thought that was appropriate. I'm also using for my decoration some pinks and reds, some blues and greens in there to kind of bring that theme that I think if Elsa was a real person, she might have liked. So the terms for these two pieces in Norwegian, the skirt is the skjort, and the bodice or the vest is the liv, or you can say bunadsliv, which basically means the vest of the bunad. Liv actually means waist, so it's like the bunad's waist. So for my liv and skjort, I am using hooks and eyes to connect them. And the reason for that is because I want to be able to interchange them. I'd like to maybe even just wear the skirt with the shirt at some point, so this makes it really easy for me to just swap them out. The front of my bodice laces up with these metal hooks here, which is very common for bunad. Bunader, which is plural for bunad, feature a lot of really lovely embroidery and design motifs. You'll see these on period bunad, and you'll also see them on modern folk dress. For my dress, I'm actually using pre-made motifs to mimic the hand embroidery that would have been so artistically done in period. The liv can be anywhere from somewhat embellished to very heavily embellished. It's quite common for the bodice of the bunad to have some sort of edging around it. I am using pink silk to edge mine. So what's really interesting about the edging on the vests or the bodices is that in that time period on the ones I found in the museum archives, it definitely shows that the edging is cut on the straight of grain. So nowadays we use a lot of bias binding, which is cut like crosswise on the grain, so it gets a little bit of stretch. Straight grain binding does not have stretch, so when you go around curves, it'll kind of buckle a little bit. And that's exactly what it looked like in the museum archives. So that is how this one is done. The skirt as well can have embellishment around the bottom, and I am using an embroidered trim to bring that decoration into my bunad. My bunad is inspired primarily by the Telemark bunad, which is a style found in the south of Norway. The town of Arendelle is supposed to be in southern Norway, so that is why I chose a southern style. Next up is the apron, or folkdrakt. My apron is made of the same blue as my bunad, which is something you will see in a lot of the Telemark bunad, even in the modern folk versions. Aprons in period could be made of the same fabric as the dress, or they could be made of a different fabric. Aprons are fastened around the waist with a type of trim. This apron fastens with a metal hook, which looks strikingly like the ones found in period representations. Aprons were sometimes edged in another decorative fabric, and I've edged mine in pink silk to match my bodice. Aprons can also be decorated at the bottom, so I have decorated mine to match the rest of my bunad with that beautiful embroidered trim and applique. The purse, or bag, or veska, is decorated with more embroidery. The veska is worn fastened at the waistband. I made my bag large enough to fit my cell phone and any other little accessories I need to take with me, so that way I can hide my modern necessities and look like I fit in to the 1840s. I always like to put on my clothes before I do my hair because I might mess up my hair if I do it otherwise. Braids are a very common hairstyle for bunad and really any traditional Scandinavian dress. There's more than one way to do your braid hairstyle depending on what you're going for. I'm going for Elsa, so these braids are actually going to be under a wig. Were I to be myself, Daisy, and not Elsa, these braids would be just fine. These are Dutch braids. You don't have to do Dutch braids to put on a wig. I like to do them anyway, and I find that it's pretty easy to pin them up under a wig. So I'm just gonna take them kind of around the back of my head here. This is sort of a Renaissance hairstyle that I also do. I'm just not hair taping this time. I am bobby pinning. So I'm gonna stick some bobby pins in here, basically through the braid that's attached to my scalp and through the part of the braid that is not attached that I would like to become attached. Next, I have a wig cap. This just flattens everything out for the wig. And then I'm ready to put on my wig. I'm doing a single braid over the shoulder because that's what Elsa wears in Frozen, and I thought I really kind of needed that to bring in the Elsa character here. And then to hold the wig in place, more bobby pins. I'm gonna do a little bit of fixing up this area here, but I'm gonna go ahead and put my cap on first, so that way I can just kind of get everything where I want it. And that way I'll be able to fix it all up together. So in period, you see ladies wearing caps with their bunad. There are a few styles, so I chose one that I thought was fitting. This cap is basically like that. It's open in the front, and I put a little comb in there so it sticks into my wig easily. And it also has a lot of the embroidered motifs that match the rest of the bunad. The cap is called a lue, or bunadslue. And this is my cap with my wig. Also worn with the outfit are stockings or strumpa and shoes or skor. I don't have the perfect Bunad shoes, however I have some that will work just fine. These kind of look like somewhat generic historical shoes. They're actually 16th century, and I think they'll be okay with this outfit. In modern folk Bunad, you see a lot of shoes with buckles on the front, and when I was looking through period images, I did see some shoes with buckles. I also saw some shoes that did not have buckles. It seems that today the buckled type has kind of become the tradition, so maybe if I wear this over in the motherland, I will see if I can get some shoes with buckles too. Shh, don't tell anyone. I'm a Swede impersonating a Norwegian. Were Elsa to have been a real person, this is really something she could have worn in 1840s Norway. I think that is pretty darn cool. I didn't even plan that pun. I'm so pleased with this costume. It's kind of funny in a way because I've been wanting to make a Swedish folk dress for a long time, and I ended up doing a Norwegian one first. But it's Elsa, so it's for a good cause. And really, I can wear this anywhere in the region and I'll fit right in. In fact, I really want to wear this to a midsummer celebration. I've always loved dancing around the midsummer pole, and the one thing I always kind of thought was missing was the traditional folk dress that some people are wearing and I was not wearing. So next time, I'm going to be wearing it too. Also, I wonder if I could wear this to Epcot. What do you guys think? Could I fit in Norway? Could this be a Disney bound? We already know it's a history bound. There are many very beautiful Bunad styles, and I had so much fun researching this style of folk dress and creating it. And honestly, it's really comfortable. Like, I could just wear it normally. I think that would be super cool. I'd probably go without the wig though. It's a little warm. If you have not already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell so you see everything I post here. Find me on social media as Daisy Viktoria. My website is daisyviktoria.com. And a huge thank you to all of my patrons who help to make the continued content creation like this possible. I hope you have a most magical day, and I'll see you again real soon. Hey, Duel!